Giving a salute, I'm your host, Chris Budihas, and joining me virtually is Jack Ryan with Stratom. Jack, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, Chris. Really appreciate
This is
it.
great. Thanks for connecting on LinkedIn, man. I saw what you're doing, Army veteran, and right in that technology space, and we're going to get into that for a little bit. But before we do that, let's talk about you. So where are you from and what you do in the Army?
Yeah, so I hail from Fairfax, Virginia, just outside the Beltway in the DC area. Joined the Army at 18 via the Army ROTC program. Went to Penn State, that's where I commissioned from as an infantry officer in the Army. Went to Ibogue Ranger School down at Fort Benning before joining up at 136 Infantry and then deploying to RC South in Kandahar. And came back, finished out my time on active duty, and then started my business career while I transitioned my military service over to the reserves. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks for your service, number one. And number two, I hope you have a great Veterans Day weekend. You definitely earned it. So let's talk about your company. So, what was the idea and where you guys are at and what's the future look like?
Sure. Yeah, we're a founder-led company. Been in business for 23 years, providing unique technologies to the DoD and commercial retailers. I'd say our strike zone is autonomous material handling. So we build vehicles that are optimized to move heavy cargo in austere environments. So think like an unimproved dirt runway in the middle of the Pacific. So we build the vehicles, and then we also develop the autonomy software, which is a ROS2 based architecture to allow those vehicles to navigate autonomously.
Oh, wow. So you guys are both in bending metal and then making the software that makes those devices work correctly. And that's a big space. It's kind of funny. I was talking to an individual down here in Florida who's getting in this space, and they're looking at, and it's just kind of that, as he said, he goes, if we have humans doing things that are, one, dangerous, and two, very routine, why do we not have humans, robotics doing it, just one, for safety, and two, for efficiency? And so snow removal at an airport, you can have a grid, you can have a very large robot pushing snow, and it's ironic that he's down here in Florida working on this idea. But yeah, so you guys are in this space. Is it very DoD centric, or are you both in the civilian and the military market?
Yeah, we serve both markets, which is a benefit to us to help us progress the technology. But I'd say our primary business is through the DoD. And that's, I'd say the majority of our current business is via the DoD. Yeah.
And then, since we're both Army, so we're talking the war fighter on the forward, line of troops all the way back to the brigade or even beyond the division support area. That's kind of where you guys are servicing, yeah.
Yep, correct. Yeah, we're certainly, pursuing those contested logistics requirements that are coming out of the Army. So how do you resupply troops in extremely austere environments that are, way away from the flagpole? So
yeah, and then obviously with the geopolitical things that are happening around the globe, we're looking, towards the West, towards China. And then I no doubt you guys are looking at the fight currently in the Ukraine with Russia, and seeing that how robotics can enable, the protection of life, unfortunately the taking of life, and then the logistics piece of that. So where's the company? Obviously this is a space that's, I told somebody this is kind of the leading edge of the wave. And the wave hasn't even hit yet. We're on the leading edge with robotics and where it's going to go in the future. So with you guys, I imagine it's a wide open opportunity or aperture. So where are you guys going to continue to pursue, if you can disclose that?
Yeah, it is. There's quite a bit of opportunity for our company, just because we've been developing, not only the autonomy software stack for many years, but our hardware is mature enough to a point where it's looking to be transitioned to production. I'd say, for anybody in the autonomy space or in the robotic space, there's going to be immense opportunities in the very near future to train new AI ML models. And enable these robots to do very, very specific things very well. So
that's great. And then you had a very successful transition out of the military. Any advice for those who are still in uniform as they prepare for their exit, either retiring or ETSing out of the military?
Yeah, the two bits of advice that I would give you is to start looking early. So, if you're 6 to 9 months out from, ETSing out of the Army, I would say, start finding your new mission, start gathering the relevant skill sets, and, building a resume that's tailored to the type of opportunity that you want to pursue. And then also take advantage of the Skill Bridge program if you're eligible.
That's huge.
It's a great opportunity to do an internship, an unpaid internship with a corporation while you're still on active duty. So,
no, that's great. And it's funny. I've had, I'm sure like friends like yours, they took advantage of Skill Bridge, and sorry about that. This is why you put your phone on mute. This is the beauty of digital media. We'll get start all over in a second here.
I know it.
I swore I turned this off. Okay. All right, Travis, we'll pick up. I'll talk about, so we just talked about Skill Bridge. Okay. So Jack, yeah, I've had friends like you that have taken advantage of Skill Bridge, and no doubt that's a great opportunity. And it's funny because some of the companies they work for, they either got hired by or they realized it wasn't a perfect fit, either the company or the individual. So yeah, I actually coach a lot of folks to do that too. How about LinkedIn and networking? Was that kind of important with your transition also, or?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, because you can easily find other veterans. There's LinkedIn groups that are specifically focused on veterans or former Army officers, or so there's definitely groups you can plug into, and you can see like if they're pursuing an opportunity or an industry that you're interested in. I've found that they're normally willing to share how they what made them successful. So it's a good way to network. And
I had the same thing. Like there's people I absolutely did not know at all. But the connection is, I was in the military, they were former military, and I'll be honest with you, every single person said, hey, let's get on a call, let's have a conversation. And they gave me, in the black and white, here's what I love about my job, here's what I like about my job, here's some considerations as you kind of look at it. And it's funny, it's like, it's employment reconnaissance, and you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to do that, or maybe, that's a great organization I want to work for. So that's huge. Well, hey, Jack, for Stratom, how do folks find the company?
Yeah, so you can find us at stratom.com, either through our website, or we also have a YouTube channel where some of our technologies are, we have videos of some of our technologies. Some of them we cannot post on YouTube. But yeah, I would say, check out the technologies, see some of the programs we're involved in, and you can find all that information at stratom.com.
Awesome. So what we'll do, we'll take all that information on stratom.com. We'll put it on our show notes so folks can take a look. One, watch the video, then two, do a little bit deeper dive into the company. And I appreciate, number one, your service to the nation, and number two, what you're doing in this DoD space to keep our warfighters more capable and also safe as part of a very honorable effort. So have a great Veterans Day weekend, and I look forward to staying in touch. So thank you.
Yeah, likewise, Chris. Thank you so much.
If you like what you heard, please connect with us on LinkedIn. Please share please share this interview, and take a look at stratom.com and see what they're doing in the autonomous space. Robotics and autonomy, it is here to stay. And the question is, are you going to leverage it or not? And then, unfortunately, if you're not, you might have an impact on your bottom line there. So I'll see you in our next segment. Live with gratitude.